Hello, everyone. Welcome back for more Top Dog tips and tricks. My name is Kira. I am your host, and today I am joined by Joey Ruffalo. Some of you may know him from his business, JR Financial Coaching, or his Facebook group, Debt Free Hustlers. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. It's awesome to be able to talk to you. So to start us off, I was hoping you could just give us a little bit of background on your resale journey. So a little bit on how long you've been reselling and what got you started.
Sure. We started selling on eBay back in 2000. That's back in the Wild West days where there
Oh,
was
yeah.
no photos, no PayPal. Everything was a check in the mail. Wait 7 days for it to clear before you mailed something out.
Oh, my gosh.
Returns were non-existent, and you hoped you got what you got in the mail. That was a fun time. And then we honestly would sell off and on over the years. Nothing really inconsistent. This is an actual job for us type of mentality for a while.
Right.
It would always be like if we needed cash, we're saving for something to go on a trip, or we just had some stuff we wanted to get rid of, then we would just, let's go sell on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do that so over and over. And then somewhere in the mid 2000s, early 2010s, I did the I always get the name wrong. It was eBay, but I was a consignment person where you could sign up on eBay, and then they would connect you with people who needed stuff consigned.
Mm-hmm.
There was a program they had. I can't remember what it's called, but then they did away with
I
it for
can't
a
remember
while.
the name, but I know someone who worked for us at one point did the same thing.
Yeah, so I did that in the local community, and I would sell sports cards for people because that's what I was into, and that's my forte, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for a little bit, and that was sort of fun. And then back in 2015, I had shoulder surgery, and I was out of commission for a while, and going through my closet and trying to find things. And I don't. It's an old football jersey. I don't use this anymore. I don't wear it. Let me go look it up online. I put it on one item. I thought, well, let's see if I could sell this.
Yeah.
Put it up on eBay, and it sold full price. It was shipped to like Germany. We're like,
Oh my God.
so my wife goes, "What else you got in your closet?" Like, got a
Like,
lot of
you sound
stuff. Let's
good.
go for it. So we started slowly listing a little bit more and more, and then really wanted to figure out how we could like up our game a little bit. So we started watching some YouTube videos of different people and taking bits and pieces from everybody and figuring out how we can incorporate that into our lifestyle and our plan. And then we just started selling, I say semi full time in March of 2016, and we've been selling consistently since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fun.
That is a long career in reselling. That's awesome.
You call it a lot of years of dabbling.
Oh yeah. So you mentioned that when you were first starting out, you were watching, YouTube videos and things,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like you offer insights now. Who were the people that influenced you the most when you were first starting out?
We watched a lot of uh, Casey Paris, the
Okay.
Rockstar Flipper.
Yeah.
Watched a lot of his stuff. A lot of his stuff because, again, when we first started, YouTube and the reselling part of it was very limited. There wasn't a lot. So
Yeah.
the people who had stuff had a lot of stuff on there at that time. So
Right.
he had a lot of stuff on there. Um, Jason Smith had a lot of stuff on there
Okay.
from Thrifty Business. He had a lot of stuff going on. I think Rally Roots was just starting around that time and had a lot of stuff coming up. And then we started we actually started reselling and went to the meetup group. I think the first meetup group that Chris Lynn
Oh
was at as well from Daily Refinement. So we're in the same area. So we started going to meetups together and kind of casually know each other. So he started doing his show around that time too.
So you said that you folks kind of started selling more full-time around 2016?
Yeah.
Was there something, some tool, some piece of information, some kind of system that you learned that really helped drive that really helped you feel comfortable taking that on full-time and depending on this?
I think for us initially, we were strictly eBay
Okay.
at the time. And so we knew the ins and outs of eBay from just being there.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I guess, the system changed. So, waiting for payments to clear with PayPal, returns for 60 days. There's a lot of new policies that got put into place that we had to sort of figure out or learn quickly. But as far as tools and everything, we first started, there was some that were there. They were like these like CSV stuff, or you
Right.
upload a lot of files to. I don't know how to do any of that
Yeah.
stuff. So I realized that
That's beyond me.
didn't make sense. And there was a couple other third-party integrations that eBay had aligned with that you could download and put your stuff in
Mhm.
and then send it over. And up until a few months ago, I still had an app on my phone that didn't exist anymore. And it was like a
Really?
eBay seller app, but it was a third-party app that you put everything in. It would connect over.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had it on my old phone, but
That's so awesome.
I may still have it. It doesn't work, but I never delete my apps, so it's still here probably. Garage sale. That's what it was called.
Garage sale.
Yeah, see, it doesn't work anymore on my phone.
I
You
can't
can't
see
see
it.
it. Yeah, because of my green screen, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work anymore. But it was
Oh,
called
that's
Garage
so
Sale, and I think
funny.
that's what eBay had a desktop version of that, and you could
Gotcha.
bulk list at that time. But again, it was a lot of things where I still felt like I had to go in and edit a lot,
Yeah.
and so I just stopped using. Like I used it once or twice. I was like,
Is there something, some tip, some piece of advice, a warning that you had wished you had back in 2000 or even 2016 that you wish you had known before you got started?
there's three things I tell people when they ask me this question, and some apply to me directly. And
Okay.
the first thing that applies to me directly is to be consistent.
Okay.
So what I mean be consistent is be consistent on your listing,
Hmm.
be consistent on your shipping, and be consistent on your customer service.
Totally.
So when I reference listing, I mean use the same flow, same pattern that works for you. So if you
Hmm.
like to take photos on Fridays, list on Saturday, go live on Sunday, that's your pattern, do it. Because
Gotcha.
that works in your lifestyle. If you skip that or you miss that, you get your whole system out of whack, and then you feel like you're playing catch up during the week, and your photos may not be as good, your listing may not be as precise, and you may not list as much as you want, and then you get those dreaded death piles or profit piles or whatever we have. Yeah, I have or death garages as I call
Oh
them in my
God.
house. Yeah, yeah. The consistency too. I tell people what I started doing, and I didn't do in the beginning. So this
Mhm.
applies to me. What I started doing was coming home with the items and listing them when I got home, or within the next things that I listed were those items.
Right.
Because it doesn't make sense to, from a financial point of view, spend money on an item and put it somewhere and then wait to list it and make money off it. You're
Yeah.
losing or your return on your investment in that area, right? Because it's just sitting there that's not making you any money.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that applied to me. So all the stuff I've currently listed is stuff that I've currently gotten or personal belongings. The stuff I haven't listed is stuff that I go downstairs and I look and go, why did I buy this 3 years ago? It's probably worth something then. I don't know. Do I really want
Yeah.
to list this
What
now?
what did I want this for?
What the heck? What was the trend then? So that's that for listing. Shipping. Um, take pride in your shipping, right?
Mm.
So I tell people my golden rule is to ship items the way I would like to receive them.
Hmm.
So if I'm opening up a package that I'm getting from Amazon or a company that I've ordered from, and it looks nice,
Yeah.
you feel good.
Yeah.
Now remember, when you're working with online selling and online resellers, the first sort of tactile moment we have with that product is when we open that box.
Right.
We've never touched the item before or felt it or smelt it or seen it, right? So the
Yeah.
first time we're doing it is when we open that box. And so we want that moment for the client or the customer to feel like an experience.
Hmm.
So when they're touching it and opening it, they get the bubble wrap or the wrapping tissue paper and a nice note. And then I like the product. It looks good. I
Like
hate
it puts you in a
getting it.
positive state of mind before you even get your hands on what you actually bought.
Yeah, because you're excited to get something in the mail, right?
Yeah.
You're excited to get that item because you bought it. And if it
Exactly.
comes in I've seen the pictures where they come in, pizza boxes or cereal boxes or a garbage bag that's taped with masking tape and it's just sent off.
Yeah.
Like I get that on my door. I'm like, what did I order? Like,
Yeah. I don't want
how did they treat the item that I'm getting it when it was in their possession? It sort
right.
of starts to make think. So I always say ship the items the way you want to receive them. If you're fine receiving an item that way, I guess good for you.
Yeah.
But
That's nice.
I like to send a professional message when I'm shipping, and
Yeah,
you know, that's just that's just me.
totally.
And then the last part was customer service, right? So
Mhm.
taking emotion out of it,
Okay.
right? So again, sort of going back to the shipping golden rule, kind of a customer golden rule is put yourself in the shoes of the customer, right? Let's
Mhm.
say you're excited to get that item and you try that shirt on and it just doesn't fit. I
Yeah.
got to return it. So you go to return it to the seller and say, I'm returning it to you. And you're like, I'm not taking returns. You know, I
Yeah.
don't take returns, whatever. You're stuck. You're stuck with it. I would feel really upset and aggravated that I dealt with this one as a person, as a customer. I'm never going to buy from them again,
Right.
whatever. And then I got to go through eBay to get a return.
Right.
It's a whole fiasco. So if you can just take emotion out of it and be like, it's not like they don't like me as a seller or they don't
Hmm.
like the item. It's just, it doesn't work for them.
Right.
And this is the nature of the game, right? So I
Right.
take the item back, and as long as it's in the same condition I sent it out in and it looks good and everybody's happy, just give them their money back and then relist it for a little bit more if you want. It's funny, I actually had a client yesterday, customer yesterday start a return request on an item.
Hmm.
She got it. Actually, she did get it yesterday. She tried it on
Okay.
and she said, it just doesn't fit. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Luckily, I had the listing in another size. She bought the other size for me, the higher size, left me positive feedback on the one she's returning. And I could have yelled at her and be like, well, you should have looked at the sizing and the description and the listing and okay. But then it
Yeah.
gets me worked up. And
Right.
I don't need to get worked up. I got enough to get worked up over.
Right. You're like, that's too much of a headache for me. I don't
Yeah,
need that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then that also will then, like I said, that'll leak into the other aspects of your business, because if you
Right.
are emotional about something there, that might get you to delay listing, or
Hmm.
taking your photos, or just sloppily handling the next shipment you're sending out. So you
Yep.
really want to just be, professional in those manners and just take it out of it. It's it's one of these businesses where it's easy to, I don't want to say it's easy to run, right? Because there's a lot of involved in running a business, but
Right.
the day-to-day operations really of a reseller, when you think about it, is you get to go fun treasure hunting at the thrift store,
Right.
and you get to come home and take photos and list them and ship them to people.
Yeah.
Is that really that hard?
Find a system that works for you. Take a little pride in what you're sending out, and people are people, and returns happen. you know.
Yeah, because we all know we've returned items ourselves,
Yeah.
right? Imagine you go to Target and you bought an item, and you
Right.
go to return it to Target, and they're like,
Really.
"No, sorry." You'd be like, "Well, you're supposed to take it back. You're Target. You have to take it back. It's on the return policy." No, you opened it, or, I don't care if you don't like it. Sorry, leave the store.
I
That's
would
that's the
be.
same thing that we would be doing to these people, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget it. No, part of like being when I work with people with the financial side of things, and teaching them about business and upping their game, right, for
Mhm.
long-term success, is you have to start thinking about things like bleed, right? There's going to be returns in your business. So
Right.
there's going to be where you have to then set aside some of your income that's coming in to cover the return, so you're not out money. And
Right.
then think about restock, and if you're going to up the cost of the item, or you're just going to get rid of it, or you're just going to refund them and tell them to keep the item if it's not worth your hassle. Some of
Right.
those things will go into your budget and how you manage your business when you start getting on a more serious level.
Yeah.
So
That's something I've never considered, honestly, is taking, like, factoring into your monthly budget what you need to pay just in case those returns come in.
I always suggest when I'm working with somebody is 25%. Just
Gotcha.
put 25% aside for 30 days to
Okay.
cover that 30-day return policy. And then after 30 days, you just absorb it back into your income, or wherever you are, back into the business or back into your pocket, or however you want to use it. But keep some aside for returns. It's just
Totally.
easier.
Totally.
I've seen too many people get caught up where they are, especially when PayPal was around, with eBay,
Hmm.
they would drain their account. You move the money over right away from PayPal, so they have zero on their PayPal account, and then a return hits, and then they're negative in their PayPal account, and that money's already been spent in their home budget on, their mortgage or their rent, and
Right.
then they're out money. Let's not have that happen.
Yeah, let's not have that happen to too many people if we can
No,
help it.
exactly.